So here we go. Okay, so it says, last year I got out of a 2-year relationship that I'd been trying to get out of pretty much since the beginning. He was extremely manipulative and also verbally and emotionally abusive. However, he always made me believe that it was me in the wrong and that I was overreacting about the way that he treated me. The thing that was also really confusing is that he was so sweet and kind to me, and the other times it was like a different person. Since I broke it up, he has messaged me and called me trying to manipulate me to talk to him again. Just the other day, he sent a message informing me that his sister had passed away. I feel a whole bunch of weird emotions, because there is still a part of me that cares about him, but then I also think, as messed up as it is he using this as another manipulation tactic for me to talk to him? I couldn't begin to imagine how broken he is right now, as he also lost his father at a young age. I keep considering talking to him so that he has someone there for him, but then I also think that it's a bad idea. What should I do? Okay, so this is a really, really great question. So there's a couple of like important concepts in relationships that I just want to sort of go over to sort of like give like a sort of a preface to answering this question. So the first thing is that when you enter into a relationship, you are signing a community. You're signing like an invisible contract, okay? And that invisible contract states that if at any time one and or both of us become dissatisfied with the relationship overall, we have the right to end it and cut off communication. Like there is technically no obligation for the person that you are in relationship with to continue to communicate with you. Like it is their right to say, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore and I don't want to talk anymore. That's your right. And like you shouldn't feel any guilt about that. And like when people try to guilt you for that, that's when abusive dynamics start to develop. So, if someone says, a very common one is like someone says like, if you break up with me, I'll kill myself. That sort of thing is extremely abusive. And the thing is, one of the things that comes up often is like, yeah, sure, you can say that, but it's much harder to sort of emotionally feel that because, you cared about this person. And so it's hard to sort of like emotionally sit with that. And one of the phrases that I learned from Dr. K that I like a lot is this idea that trauma is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. So if you have gone through trauma, it is your responsibility to deal with it and get help for it. And if you start going into other relationships and start sort of like paying that trauma forward in abusive ways, that's your fault now because you didn't take responsibility for your trauma. And like the thing is like I think that everybody deserves compassion. Even people that are abusive, I think, deserve compassion because in all likelihood, the reason that they're abusive is because of trauma of their own. But it doesn't mean that they shouldn't be held responsible. So, that being said, the fact that this man abused you is his fault. And if he had sort of taken more responsibility for his trauma and sort of, gotten the help that he needed, then it may have been much easier for you to have been there for him. Even if the relationship had ended anyway, it may have been much easier for you to be there for him because you wouldn't have this fear that like he's using it to manipulate you, which by the way, he may very well be. It may be a combination of factors. Like it may be like on the one hand that he, is legitimately sad that his sister passed away. And also he really wants to talk to you and sees it as a way to talk to you. So it may be a combination of factors, but regardless, like it is not your responsibility to take care of this person because first of all, you sort of ended that contract. You sort of terminated that contract. And second of all, like even while you were in that contract, he didn't treat you right. And the really sort of important reason that I'm leaning on like stay away is because he would gaslight. Is because he would like make you feel like your thoughts and feelings are less legitimate. And you can actually see how you've internalized it in this post. So if you pay attention here, you can see how this person has said, where is it? Okay, because there is still a part of me that cares about him, but then I also think, as messed up as it is he using this as another manipulation tactic for me to talk to him? So, like, here's the thing. That's actually not messed up at all. Like, that actually makes perfect sense. Why? Because he literally did this to you. So, like, the fact that you're gaslighting yourself here and saying, like, as messed up as it is, means that, like, you've internalized a lot of the damage that he did to you, and, like, entering back into this dynamic is only gonna, like, further open those wounds and further, like, cause that damage. And so, like, I would highly advise in this situation, do not re-engage. Do not re-engage. I think that it's a bad idea. I'm trying to make sure that there's nothing that I've missed here. I think that the last thing that I would say is that, obviously, like, with any of this advice, like, it is always up to you, and, like, the call is always yours. And so, you know, even if, like, I got this question a little while ago, and so, like, even if you have already re-engaged, like, you don't need to like beat yourself up over it or anything like that. This is all just sort of like food for thought. And the truth is that, like, beating yourself up over it, if you have re-engaged, will actually, like, only make this worse. So I really encourage you to sort of, like, be compassionate with yourself in, like, whatever decision that you make, and just really sort of be aware of what's happening emotionally for you. So if you do re-engage, pay very close attention and be very aware of how you're feeling throughout the relationship. You know, how you're feeling in talking to this person. And if you start to notice that you are feeling, emotionally drained by being in relationship with this person, you do not need to continue that relationship, because, again, that's part of the contract that you sign. So that is my 10-minute tantra. If you liked this and you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. If you think I missed anything, please feel free to leave them in the comments.